right, song's almost over, Kelan, so you can fucking not be upset about it, okay?
Don't you stop digging till you make a hole that's about 60 deep. And I'll sit here and watch you and drink a bottle of whiskey. Then I'll hit you and send you. And I'll let you and send you. And I'll let you and send you to hell's fire.
Yo, what's up? What are you saying to me right now?
Just saying that the goddamn president's a liar.
All right, can we please not immediately be political?
He's a liar.
I know he's a liar. That's what makes him fun.
He's a dirty, dirty liar.
Who's worse, do you think, Nixon or him?
I think that he is the worst thing that's ever happened.
That he's the worst that's ever happened to us? Why are you political right now? Entrapment, oh, what's up, dude?
Sorry, I had double playing.
Ugh. Hold on. I have to advertise for Jackanese. I'm so behind, chat. Can you talk to chat for a second? I'm so behind, chat, and I'm so sorry.
Shitty chat.
Like, we were supposed to start at 1, and then Kelan had many issues, and then I decided to go on a run, and then I got late. So now we're starting.
Have any issues. I had one issue. I was asleep. I was thinking about, I was like, man, I feel like I got to come up with like lies that you tell your professor. You're like, well, I tried to email myself, but then my roommate. Then it's a fucking Clone High deep cut. Did you ever watch Clone High?
I love Clone High.
The fucking principal.
I can't like quote it, but
I can quote the shit out of it. I love it.
Sorry, and I'm like half paying attention because I have to advertise for Jackanese tonight, which I meant to do a while ago.
Dude.
You know, because it's just like whatever. I feel like I have my good days, but I'm still in that mode where I'm like, ugh, I'm not ready for it to be January and the dead of winter and back in the grind and, you know, all this business, right? I'm just like, I just want to sleep.
Yeah.
I just want to sleep.
Sleeping is really, really fun.
Also, City Winery Cowman show this Tuesday. Catch it, y'all. Catch it like fucking AIDS.
Catch it like a goddamn disease.
Catch it like a Polaroid picture. Okay?
Catch it like a Polaroid picture.
All right. Let's slack you now.
I don't even think you need to do that.
Oh, really? Why? You're just going to tell me what to do?
Basically, and it's so delayed. I might as well just watch your chat.
Okay. Then let us begin. So explain the deal.
So my thing is that in order, for the sake of progress, I feel like I'm going to help you get through like the first couple chapters, and then we'll see where we're at about solving the rest of it.
Okay. Do you think, did we miss just some giant swaths of clues?
No, it's just nice to know what actually happened, you know, and then go from there.
Okay.
Because shit is fucked on the Obra Dinn. It is not good what happened to these folks.
No bueno on the old Obra Dinero. For sure. For sure. You know what I need to do, though, chat? I need to just be streaming more. I'm bummed that I didn't stream yesterday.
I am being very candid today, Trap.
You just called chat Trap?
No, Trap.
You didn't just call them Trap?
Trap, yeah. Entrapment? That's fun. You wouldn't say Trap would be the shorthand for that?
Oh, I thought you called chat Trap. I was like, they're not a trap, Kelan.
No, specifically to Trapment.
All right, I'm on the fucking Obra Dinn.
Okay. So we should get back to let's get back to the start of things.
Okay.
I think the very first thing that happens.
The very first thing, let me go to the table of contents here. Loose cargo is chapter 1.
Yes. So this ship's setting sail, and they've got some interesting people on the cruise. It's these Formosan royalty that are there that have this special cargo. And so basically, as soon as the ship is like loading in a bunch of cargo, like Gossip Train is fucking running. It's like Gossip Train 1893 over here on the Obra Dinn. Like people are chatting about what's up.
Hot Goss 1891 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Hot Goss fucking try not to get scurvy edition. Look at you! You fucking doubted me, man. Look at all my fucking notes.
This is unbelievable, dude.
I have 2 pages.
I doubted you. I was like, Kelan, you didn't do any work for this, like you said you do.
2 fucking pages of these fucking notes, man. So shit is fucked.
Okay.
They're gossiping all about what's going on because nobody's seen these fucking Formosan people before, and as they're gossiping, this dude Samuel Peters just happens to get crushed by loose cargo, but that's not the weirdest part about it.
So I'm naming him right now, Samuel Peters, huh?
Samuel Peters, yeah. The weirdest thing about it is that one, he's got a brother on board who thinks that somebody did it on purpose. So the first accidental death already sets the wheel in motion about like conspiracies and vendettas, and so things start off really, really bad.
Gotcha.
The weirdest part about it is that not only does this dude get fucking crushed, but can we go back to that memory?
Sure. That is going to be all the way at the bottom in the cargo holds. Let me make my way down there for a second. Also, while I make my way down there, Entrapment asking about AGDQ. Kelan and I both have been watching AGDQ. If you're not watching that, you need to. It is such an amazing event. I feel so bad. I was just watching this guy's Divinity Original Sin 2, I believe is the name of the game, speedrun, and he accidentally fucked up and like saved over a file he wasn't supposed to, and he had to end the run early, and he was clearly like really bummed out about it. And I felt so bad for him.
Anything like that happen.
You hate to see it. But yeah, I've been watching the shit out of it. I'm sad I missed yesterday. This is Return of the Obra Dinn. You're an insurance adjuster, essentially, on a ship where everyone died, and you're trying to figure it out, how everyone died. All right, I believe this is the memory. Yep, Loose Cargo, part 1 of 2.
So, like I said, poor fucking Samuel fucking Peters, man, gets crushed.
How were we supposed to learn that it was Samuel Peters? Do you know that? Do you know how we were?
So you learn that because later on you find out that his brother, Nathan Peters, has a specific vendetta. When shit starts going down, you find out. But the weird thing is that inside a barrel in this crashing cargo, there's a fucking stowaway who immediately gets killed.
Really?
There's a stowaway. How fucked up is that? Inside one of these barrels.
How do you know?
Because you're supposed to be able to see inside one of the cracked barrels.
Let me look.
But you can't really see inside of it.
Oh, you can't really see inside of it?
I guess so. I mean, the thing is, but that's the thing is you're supposed to, not only does one dude get crushed, oh, maybe it's over here. You see him over here? And somewhere over here, there's a stowaway that also just immediately dies.
By getting crushed by the barrels?
Yeah, he gets crushed by the guy getting crushed.
That's amazing.
Sure. Yeah. So I don't know where you're supposed to check that off, but like there's that unknown passenger on the list, and that fucker gets dead right here.
Weird. Fucking weird.
Yeah.
Maybe you find it through some other way. Maybe you find it through some other way. I don't know.
So this dude standing looking up is Nathan's brother. Is Samuel's brother Nathan.
The guy looking, oh, this guy?
Yeah.
That's Nathan? This man of color?
No. The one behind you. That guy. Is that him?
This guy that I just...
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, again, I got a little bit of a delay. I'm pretty sure.
You're an insurance agent, Shando Calrissian? That's amazing. Oh, what's happening, Tommy? How you doing? What's happening, Koala? Motherfucker got Donkey Konged, absolutely. The Sonic the Hedgehog 1 run was awesome, dude. I was watching it last night. I love it so much, dude. You have to watch the Sonic 1 speedrun. It's just the dude, the runner is just so excited to be there. Like, it's one of those special runs where you can just tell this guy is going to get so much, like, love and attention after this speed run, because you could just tell it meant everything to him. He was such a cool dude. Like, it was so great, and he was so funny and great.
To compliment AGDQ, I feel like they are in the groove now where they, like, the people on the couches have scripts that they're kind of going off of. Like, they have bullet points that they know they're going to talk about.
A little bit.
Very well curated.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very well curated. I felt so bad for that guy, man. That's such a
That's
fucking
a
bummer.
big bummer.
Well, okay, I guess a man gets crushed in these barrels. I can't see anybody in these fucking barrels, but
Yeah, that's weird. But anyway, that happens.
okay, so we're getting out of here.
Right out the gate, the Obra Dinn, not an auspicious start.
No, yeah, just immediately bad
Yeah.
for the
So
Obra
then-
Dinn. Okay.
The next thing that happens is the bitter cold, which is again pretty standard fare as far as like what goes down.
So
This is
part
the,
2 on the cargo deck, I see hoist away, and it just lower away, and it just shows a barrel. I see here. An unidentified stowaway expecting free passage and eventual freedom was instead crushed inside a falling barrel. So they just explain that to you. They don't really, you can't like see it in the barrel. It's just in the book. So that's done. So loose cargo is taken care of. Now we're at a bitter cold. There's 3 deaths here off the coast of Madeira. Correct?
Yes.
And we are going to go to the gun deck, it looks like, to
Yes.
look at the first one.
So this is they've set sail, and now the fucking if the rumor mill was grinding when they were packing, now it's at full speed. Everybody is chizzy chatting about what's going on this journey, and we get this kind of misdirection thing that happens in this thing because as far as we know, there's people dying of some mysterious illness.
Yes.
And you're supposed to kind of be paying attention to that because you're investigating all these deaths. But what really is happening is that a bunch of, I think they're Russian or I don't know. Yeah, they're Russian. There's a bunch of Russian guys who don't give a fuck who are playing poker in the background. Do you remember this scene? Where
Yes.
the guys are dying of a lung disease and there's these dudes just playing poker in the background. And
Yes.
that is where the misdirection comes in because it's what those guys are talking about that really sets the whole shit show together.
Gotcha.
So the 2 Indian seamen.
All right, so we're looking at a bitter cold part 1 of 3.
Yeah, it's I think the dudes who are. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing Final Fantasy IX. I think maybe late tonight or tomorrow night. They're doing Final Fantasy IX.
How long? What's the schedule? Is it tomorrow's the last day?
No, Sunday's the last day, I believe. But go to AGDQ 2019 schedule, and they have a really good, like, well put together schedule here.
Yeah.
So here, let's see what we have to look forward to. AGDQ. I'm so sad I missed Cuphead, but I'll just watch it in the replay. They also did The Messenger and Celeste and all these really good indie games, like new indie games last night that I really wanted to see, but I was gone. But that's fine. I was at rehearsal. What do we have? We've got, is Pokemon Gold right now? Yeah, Pokemon Gold's happening right now. Final Fantasy IV, 2 hours? Final Fantasy IV? TazBot is later today. TazBot is always fun as shit to watch. It's like a computer playing a video game, and it's really fun. And then, yeah, Final Fantasy IX. We also Super Mario Sunshine. And then Final Fantasy IX at 11:30, so I'll probably be watching that. And that's going to go for 9.5 hours. One speed run. But it will be what, I think...
100%?
2 different people. It's any percent. It's just such a long game, and I think it's a couple of people trading off the game, but the gameplay. But that is an intense undertaking, so that'll be a lot of fun to just kind of have on in the background. Caught that indie block? That's awesome, dude. I really wanted to see that. Oh well, I'll watch it all. They archive all of it. Okay, so these are the guys. So let's see. Back to where we were at on the gun deck. Solomon Syed, we already named him, seaman, succumbed to a tragic illness. And they're saying, stop your cheating. Worry about yourself. Drink something.
And the other guy to die of a lung disease is Renfred Yajub.
Yajub?
Yajub.
Unknown soul succumbed to a tragic illness. His name is Yenfrid Yaju.
Renfred. And those 2 are just the 2 Indian seamen who got some mysterious disease. But again, this is like false direction because what's really happening is these dudes who are playing their poker game are hatching a fucking sinister plot, man.
Ah.
Yeah. And so I'm just going to tell you who gets in on the plot because that really helps solve the rest of. So basically,
So it's Jufrid Juju? Jewison Jujuish?
no, Solomon Syed and Renfred Rajub.
I know, and I just got an achievement for solving a bitter cold. And we also got 3 correct names for people.
Cool.
So we've added another thing on here.
Yeah.
Anyone play the RE2 demo yet? I'm trying to stay away, but my molecules are pulling me towards it. I think I'll probably just stay away and wait for the fun to happen in its full-length form. So these guys over here, huh? You've got this man right here. This man right here.
Yeah.
And
so those are the Russians.
Okay.
And they are the ones who kind of recruit the captain's first mate. Those guys end up being the firing squad also, which comes in later. So basically, these guys come up with a plan that they're gonna try to steal whatever's in that chest that the Formosans brought on board that everybody was checking out when they were loading the ship. So I think 6 people get involved in this plot. It's the second mate, Edward Nichols, and his steward, Samuel Galligan. The 2 Russians, Alesky Toporov and Alarkus Nikishin, and then an Irishman and a Chinese man. So they're going to steal the Formosans' treasure. But the person who basically runs the whole thing is the captain's first mate, Edward Nichols, and he is the first person to try to steal the treasure. That's the treasure right there.
Nunzio was knifed by one Edward Nichols, and we already had that. We already got that.
The problem is Nunzio is in the wrong place at the wrong time. They go downstairs to try to steal the treasure, and they knock out one of the guards. Hawk Seong is the guy with the spear, and and Nunzio overhears it, and they kill Nunzio.
Gotcha.
And then they frame the guard for the murder.
All right, let me find the Nunzio killing. That is on the main deck.
Yeah. But again, there's like another little twist to that that's really fucked up.
Cool. So let me go on the main deck and let's just look at this murder.
Hi.
Yo, what's up, Madeline? You owe me money, you fucking piece of shit.
Whoa!
Jesus.
I haven't even had coffee.
You owe me motherfucking greenbacks.
No, I wasn't gonna make one yet.
Would you make one for me?
I'll make one.
This is the Doom. Hold on. Wrong one. Wrong dead guy.
Wrong corpse.
Entrapment says Madeline. Koala says, oh, fuck. Koala, man.
Whoa.
I played fucking Street Fighter yesterday, and I got mad and I got sad. When am I gonna be good at the fucking game, dude?
It's hard to be good at the game.
I'm so frustrated. I'm gonna go to next level on Friday night. I need to sit with someone, and I need someone to be like, you are bad, and this is why. And then I will practice getting better. Oh, is this game out? Nice. Yeah, it's out. It's been out for a while. Sir Nichols, is that you? I'm going to grab coffee while this memory is playing. Madeline, how's your week? How's your love life?
It's fine. Not exciting. You gonna start making coffee? Oh, it's just me. I just woke up. I live at night. I'm a zombie woman. Oh, I'm off tonight, Holden. Oh, jeez.
Awesome. You want to join us?
Yeah, can I?
Yeah, I'd love for you to join us.
That'll be fun.
We may do another live commentary thing. What should we do?
Oh, I don't know.
The T-Swift concert was so much fun.
Yeah, to go good.
Except for the insane people that like get not just dislike Taylor Swift, but it puts them into a blind rage. And I'll never understand. Like, why is this girl that sings these songs make you so mad, girl?
I don't know. She's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, why you care? Sexy face trailer makes my lady bits tingle today, boys. See no bite me? You fucking better believe it, dude. I'm the sexiest man alive. You know what I'm saying? George Clooney, more like George fucking Snooze.
George Boring.
George Boring.
Me.
You
George
are the.
Boo.
You know what, Chad? You come up with them, okay? Because I'm too busy over here. Where did Kelan go? Why did Kelan leave?
He's making coffee.
So now we're just hanging? All right, hold on. I have to close this door because the sun shines into my bedroom.
Back. Look how bright and sunny it is outside. Oh, it's so nice. It's bright and still sunny.
Hey!
Oh, and you guys. Here, look. And Madeline, check out this dope puzzle that
I want to see a puzzle.
It's a Harry Potter where they're all going after the key flying.
Oh, that's when they're
That's
solving.
cool.
Isn't that
That's what they're
awesome?
solving.
Like really
Oh, I
vibrant.
love that. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
It's on the table right here. I'm putting it together right now.
I feel like 1,000
awesome.
pieces is the right number.
I love thousands.
Thousands, mwah. Any more than that, too much. Any less, maybe a little too little.
Boring. It just takes so little time.
Yeah, you just bang it out. You know what I mean? 500, I mean, I could see it if you just want to feel accomplished. Well, and then they're more like Splooginator. I'll take it. George Clooney, more like George Hooney. Who the fuck is he? Tommy said what? You should have my job, bro. I'm not even going to lie to you. Just tried playing Mortal Kombat X the other day. That game is impossible. Seriously. I feel like our community has outgrown my medieval skill, and I am of little help anymore. Forward all Street Fighter questions to Tommy. There you go. All right. Okay. Let's do this. So we are now in this memory. This guy overheard, right? Oh, that's the first mate, right? Is the first?
Well, I can't tell who you're talking to.
Oh, okay. Or wait, he has a hat on at least.
Yes, the first mate. So the first mate is the guy who, like, he's the mastermind
He's a
behind
troublemaker.
this plan to steal the treasure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is a shame because he ropes in his steward and the 2 Russians are kind of already game for it. And then there's this Irishman, Patrick O'Hagan, and Chinese man, Li Hong, who kind of get wrapped up in it as well. The problem is they knock out Hok Seong, the guard, the Formosan guard, and then they kill poor Nunzio, the bard, or the musician who overhears what's going on.
Yep.
Murder him, and then
There's the treasure.
And then that takes us to the fucking firing squad, which, because they have a Chinese guy in their cahoots. Oh, see, that's the treasure right there. That's,
Yeah, he's a little delayed, but yeah, that's the treasure right there. I'm going to leave this memory, and I'm going to go into the next one, okay?
So the next one should be the firing squad. And the way that things kind of work out, so this plan fucks up. They kind of get caught, and then they have to frame this guy for murder. But what's lucky is that they have this Chinese guy who is with them, and he mistranslates the Formosan guard's innocence plea, and he says that he admits to the guilt. So they just fucking straight up execute this guy, thinking that he admitted to killing Nunzio when he totally did not.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and what's crazy is the people who fucking kill him, the people who make up the firing squad are a bunch of the people who are trying to steal the treasure chest anyway.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So the firing line includes Patrick the Irishman, Oleski the Russian, John Naples, who's just a guy, and the guy who actually does the fatal shot is Henry Brennan.
And you're supposed to deduce who actually. Yeah, I guess you can.
You can because you can see the lines.
You can see the lines of the bullets. That's so tough, though.
Yeah.
So
So
boom.
Henry Brennan is the guy who actually shoots him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell because
Yeah,
the
it's
other ones have
Missed.
miss.
Yeah.
So this is the day that the artist
Rendered.
did the
Rendered.
picture or whatever.
Gotcha.
So this guy falsely accused of murder.
Was shot with a
Poor
gun
Nazi-
by Henry Brennan, then, not Christian Wolf.
Yeah, that guy's Henry Brennan.
Okay. Let me find him real quick.
Wolf is somebody else. I forget who Wolf is.
My thing is, I now need someone to sit me down and be like, this is how you were supposed to get all this.
So, you can.
By the way, this game is not free. It costs money. I forget how much it costs, but it's not too expensive. So it is what it is. All right, what were we gonna say, Kelan?
So you figure out a lot of this beginning stuff based on what happens later on.
Right.
So, okay. So they kill the guy, and now things are kind of heating up a little bit, and they decide that they're gonna fucking just kidnap the royals and steal the treasure again tonight, the night of the execution. So this ship goes down. The second mate right there is like dead set on killing everybody and getting this fucking treasure.
Uh-huh.
Oh, do you see that penguin?
Yeah.
No, it's a chicken.
It's a rooster, yeah. All right, I'm leaving this memory, and I'm going to go down to the gun deck where Murder Part 3, the victim is. Down there. Yeah. Chillin' Painter, man. Just fucking playing this game. And then I'm going to take a break. Then we're going to have Jack and Ease tonight. Come join us. Madeline's going to be there.
Yeah!
That'd be cool.
When's Patrick in it?
No, it's like midnight.
Patrick?
My brother!
Oh, that's fun.
He's coming to visit.
That's fun.
Down to Miami.
I'll talk about, I wish that I had already gone on it, but I'm going to go speed dating next week.
Interesting. Oh, I have to hear all about Madeline's speed dating. Yeah. I think that's gonna work out. I think you're gonna really meet somebody doing that.
I think I really am. I think that's how it's like really gonna happen.
Weirder things have happened.
It's true.
And if I'm good at it, they invite you back for free because you have to pay to do it.
But you're a lady.
Yeah, if you show up and you're like good at it, the speed dating site's like, then we'll invite you back for free.
So this next one is the you're on the ship, the runaway ship.
I am? Well, wait, I'm going to the gun deck to find this other.
Yeah,
oh, is he off? Oh, is he outside? Oh, okay, here it is.
Oh, okay.
Have I seen this one? Murder Part 3 of 3. So Madeline, what is your whole approach gonna be to speed? Oh, are you gone, Madeline? Madeline's gone.
She's here.
Hiya.
What's your
approach? What's your strat?
What's my strat?
What are you going in with? You gotta. All right, let's do a practice, okay?
Okay.
All right. You sit down with me. How much time do you get? How much time do you get?
Okay, ready?
I don't know.
Set. You get 25 seconds.
25 seconds. Okay. All right. Hi. Hello. What's your name?
Next.
What?
Next.
What?
Next.
That is what? You can't even give me a shot? Is it the beard? What in the world?
No, I want to treat it like the next bus.
I can't believe I just got nexted like that. Unbelievable.
You gotta help me. I want to come up with like good questions.
Well, I mean, name's Madeline.
How round is your mound?
Let me see it. Let me look at it. Let me see it.
Let me look at it.
Sina by me says, so I've been planning a podcast series for months now, haven't started yet. I love your opinions on keys to good content and picking a direction for topics without it being all over the place. I have too many ideas is my problem. Well, what's the podcast about? Can you tell me what the podcast is in one sentence? And if not, you need to figure out how to tell me what the podcast is about in one sentence before we can even move forward. So give me your sentence, Sino. Second of all, Madeline, we are definitely going to be talking about this tonight on Jack and Ease, so I'm glad that this is a situation.
I'm excited about it. Yeah, it's because you pick your age group. So ours is 32 to 44. So maybe I'll get myself a daddy.
Oh, yeah, so you went with older, huh? I think that's probably a better idea. Everybody's going to be real jaded. Okay, so if you're doing that age group, that means there's a reason why they're single, right? So you need to, I think you start with divorced, ?
Yeah.
In therapy, ? You know, what's your, why?
It's a scary age group to be dating in because you're like, what's fucking wrong with
what's
you?
Your what's your
Like,
malfunction?
what's wrong with me that I'm alone?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you that you're alone?
I disagree. I think people are better when they've maintained their fucking singleness.
I really want to find.
Interesting, Kelan, that you'd feel that way.
A Guillermo, maybe like a early 40s.
Yeah, if you can do
doctor.
if you can do ages, why can't you do ethnicities?
Give yourself a guapo. Ay, papi, come on.
Mexican speed dating, and we call it
He's got a mustache. I do like your facial hair. I wouldn't next to you. Hold it. I was just practicing.
We'll call it Speedy Gonzalez dating. And we'll go, and it's just all Mexicans and Madeline.
Whatever that means. And I talk in a British accent the whole time. Hi. Nice to meet you. Name's Madeline.
No.
Do you fancy a shag?
Do Hispanic people like British accents? Is that a thing? I don't think they do.
That's like a fucking swamp witch accent.
Also, hello, Neurosister Circosis. I hope I didn't butcher that name. I think I did okay.
Hello.
Ask them how many kids they have and what their current salary is. Yeah, right. All right, so this is the third
So
part
they
of the murder.
They kidnap the royals, and they decide that they're going to steal the treasure and get the fuck out of there. But in their scuffle, they Timothy Buteman, one of the top men, tries to stop them, and he gets shot by the first mate,
By William Hoscut?
Edward Nichols.
Oh, Edward Nichols?
The second mate, I mean.
Okay. Gotcha.
So they take the royal family hostage, and this is when the badness begins.
Yes, Hispanic
So-
people do like British accents, actually, Madeline, so you should do that. Neurosister Circosis just told me.
Yeah. So they got the royal family with them, and they stole the treasure, and they hop on a boat. And then I think that's another memory.
Yeah, that's going to be like a completely different thing. So this is the end of the murder though, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he just gets shot while they're trying to flee.
Okay, so Nunzio knifed by Edward Nichols, Hawk Sing Lau shot by Henry Brennan, and Timothy
They also stab one of the helmsmen during their escape too.
Timothy Butement was shot with a gun by Edward Nichols. All right, now I'm going to leave this memory. Also, what's up, guys? Some people coming in right now. Scientologist DMT. Ho, what's happening, Middle Luton? Hoes for everybody. You get a ho, and you get a ho, and you get a ho.
So shit goes.
What's the point of this gameplay? The point of this gameplay is we're kind of cheating right now. We're sort of, Kelan had to kind of look it up as we hit a brick wall. We're going to try to actually start getting into the gameplay now. But you go into these memories, you try to make deductions, and you try to figure out who killed who with what and how. The who, what, why, essentially, of each murder on the ship. There's like 60-something murders. But we hit a wall last time, so we're sort of, Kelan just kind of did his due diligence.
research?
Yeah.
But the thing is, we were really close for most of this.
Yeah.
Like-
Okay, now we're at the Calling off of the Canary Islands. Our first murder happens. I have to go to the main deck, but it actually happens off the ship. This is after they left, I take it then.
Yeah, so they get the treasure, and they fucking kidnap the royal family, and they're getting the fuck out of there.
Yep.
I think they're either headed to the Canary Islands, or I don't know where they're going, but they're trying to escape.
Let me try to find this memory. This one's a little trickier. It is.
And then shit goes fucking ass backwards.
And by that, you mean everything's completely fine, right?
Yeah. They make it, and everyone lives happily ever after.
Yes, Unholy Captives, part 1 of 4. Oh, no, wait, that's, okay, no, that's
That's the next one.
the next one. All right, let me find the other one. Kind of like LA Noire a little bit, but you don't interview anybody or, like, look for liars or anything like that.
As far as gathering clues, it's similar, but the mechanic is more like going back in time and visiting the events, as opposed to, like, interviewing people and...
No, wait, that's Unholy Captives. Okay.
Man,
Hold on.
Shit fucking fucked up on this shit, man.
Hold on, let me get there. Let me go back. So this is the Calling, right? This is the
They're
Calling.
going to the tiny Parakeet Islands.
Okay, so I am
little sparrows.
way off. We're going over here. Is it this one? Yes. Okay, this should be it. The Calling
So,
part 4 of
I mean-
6, but
It does feel a little bit like cheating, but I don't know. We already examined all this stuff, so
yeah.
I feel like even the people that I know who did complete it the right way, man, that's so fucked.
What?
This whole part is so crazy.
Yeah. The only thing is I have to figure out exactly... Hold on. How do I get to part 1 is my problem. What's like the portal to part 1? Apparently I'm right next to it. Maybe I'll just try. I think you have to go straight to 4 maybe. No, that says 5. Oh, well, whatever. Okay. So, anyways, this is the scene out here, right?
Yeah.
So they take the treasure, and someone comes after them, essentially.
This is the second part of it, though. The scene that you're in right now. Well, the general idea is the best gal friend and I want to do a real blunt conversation from a female point of view dealing with sex and dating stories and just general dealing with life as vagina owners. We both have dominantly male jobs, so it's an interesting perspective. She works on cars and I'm a blacksmith. Cool. Crude and funny is the sort of direction we're going in. Maybe I'll have to write some more and do practice runs and listen back to see if it's mildly entertaining. Is this a podcast?
Yes, it's a podcast. So I would say, See No Bite Me, you are 100% correct. It sounds like you're still trying to figure out exactly what the show is. And so what I would do is a lot of test runs of the show where you record episodes that you never intend to release. And that is a practice that like Last Podcast Network does for all their shows. Like you record a bunch up top. It sounds almost a little like Guys We Fucked, that podcast, where you talk really candidly about sex and things like that, but maybe figure out some segment ideas.
Segments is the best way to go because
Stuff
people,
like that.
one, for audience listeners, that's really something that you can latch onto when you get an idea of what the structure of the show is.
Yes, 100%. So yeah, I would say I think it's really cool that you guys have these like dude-centric jobs, but I don't know how that would necessarily play in other than just like something that people would be like, oh, and this is another element that makes the show good. So how do you have real blunt conversations from a female's point of view dealing with sex and dating stories? Do you do like a personal update and then do a news story and then do, you know what I mean? And then do, you know, this or that, like the history, and then do like a sex history bit? Figure out also, I think research is always appreciated. I think people love to learn something when they walk away from a podcast. So also consider doing some kind of like research-based element to the show as well. So yeah, just do a bunch of test runs and have fun with it. So Kelan, who is left? He's gone. Madeline, let's try again, okay? All right.
Okay.
Pretend I'm not me. Pretend I'm a sexy Spanish man, okay?
Okay.
Really beautiful, just oiled in a weird, like, I'm like, wow, he put oil on for me.
Yeah, if it could look like you had bronzer on, that would be good.
Right? I look like I have bronzer on. I'm jacked, Madeline. I'm fucking ripped.
You don't have to be jacked. You can be daddy fat.
And I'm wearing, only that part is not jacked. Everything else is jacked. But you have some daddy fat going on, like in the belly and a little bit in the chin. But like, so it's exactly what you want. I'm the ideal fucking man, okay, for you. All right? That's what I'm saying. And also, you know, it looks like I'm not in any way like married or anything. You know what I mean? Okay. So here we go. You ready?
I don't know if I'm ready.
What is this?
30 seconds on the clock, please, Kelan.
Okay, ready?
Okay, yes.
I haven't had coffee yet.
Here, I'm actually gonna do this. This is, you gotta be as horny as you possibly can.
Yeah, you gotta get me here. You gotta sell me, Madeline.
On your mark.
All right, are you ready?
Mark.
Yes.
You have to sit down in the chair now. Here, focus. All right, on your mark.
Yes.
I haven't had any coffee yet, so this is
on
gonna be
your
a
mark.
bad run.
On your mark. Get set.
We're overalls.
We're gonna go for 45 seconds. On your
All
mark. Get set.
Sexy
Fuck.
overalls.
All right. Hi, my name is Juan. Do you enjoy tamales?
It would be Ola.
Hola, my name is Juan. Do you like tamales? Do you like fucking tamales? Next.
Es muy guapo.
Oh, okay. Good. What do you like to do for fun?
I like to make love in the morning while the sun rises over the beach.
Wow, that sounds like a good time. Is that like a personal hobby? Could you even call that a hobby? I don't know. But either way, what's your 3-year plan?
What's that?
What's your 3-year plan?
To make sweet, sweet love to you.
Next!
Jesus Christ.
I don't buy it for a second. You gotta be more genuine than that.
That was horrible.
Make love and the whatever.
You two, no one deserves to love you two. Jesus Christ. I've never seen any less chemistry in my whole life.
I thought I opened pretty strong, I'm gonna
Jesus
say.
Christ, it's like
That was good.
it's like a wet sock talking to a fucking microphone.
Hola, mi nombre es Juan. ¿Qué te gusta hacer mientras velas un buen palazzo? Es a lo que te referías seguro. What does that mean? I gotta Google Translate that one. Neurosisters. I've got more romantic chemistry talking to my HR head at my office.
How do you like to spend your time in the
Well, maybe it's good that Madeline and I don't have chemistry, okay? That's probably a good thing.
It doesn't have to be with
What
everybody.
if you suddenly fall in love with each other and you have to break off your wedding?
And I have to pretend to be a Spanish person to do the rest of my life.
That's it. That's what did it. That up into hold into hold. Fucking take your plan.
So Kellen, what happened here?
All right, we had to go to the other memory.
Have a go on Madeline.
So this is the end of.
Yes, this is the end of it. I can't find the first one. Maybe I have to find it through these other ones.
So basically, you try to find it, and I'll tell you what happens. So basically, they're trying to escape, but Bun Lam, one of the royals, is warning the wife, I believe, It Bang. Her name is It Bang. To keep the chest out of the ocean, because even in the middle of being captured, they're just like, don't fuck this up. Like, please keep everyone's gonna get fucked if the seashells that are in this chest fall into the ocean.
Right.
So she breaks out of her bonds and she tries to stop them from opening the chest, and that's when the fucking mermaids show up, because they've heard the call of the treasure and they burst out of the sea and start attacking the escape vessels.
All right, so I'm making my way back to the first memory, but you actually have to find it through other memories, and I just realized how that works. So let me just get to the very first one. That's what definitely makes this difficult, right? So this is after the mermaid showed up right after she gets out of her bonds, it looks like.
Hello, my name is Juan. What do you like to do when you were blowing a big cock? That's what Okay, so is this the first one?
Jaganese, by the way, 6 p.m. ET. This is the first one. We'll reach the Canaries in 3 days. You packed enough stores? Aye, sir. So he's Scottish or Irish.
Yeah, that's Patrick O'Hagan. He unfortunately is he gets it.
See, this we would have figured out by going back and looking at nationality stuff.
Yes, and the thing is, what's hard for me is I can't hear any of the accents, which is also really helpful.
Incredibly helpful, yeah. It's very helpful. Okay, so this unknown soul is Patrick O'Hagan.
The one who gets spiked is Patrick O'Hagan. Yeah.
All right, let's find him on here.
That's not an Irishman, is it?
Was spiked by a terrible beast. Patrick O'Hagan. No, he got spiked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Patrick O'Hagan is Irish. Yeah, Ireland. That's him.
That's a weird looking Irishman. He looks Chinese.
No, he's not Chinese.
Well, the way he's drawn is not very.
Yeah, I see the Irishness. He just has short hair.
Okay.
All right, and then in the second one, Mother of God, keep rowing. They are here. Bang the chest. Where is it? There's something there. I see it. Give us a weapon. Give us a weapon. Miss Lynn, stay down. Pick up the oars and row, you fool. So Miss Lynn is the second one to get killed. Oh, no. Who is this?
She hides, and then the Aleski gets pulled out of the lifeboat and drowned by one of the... Alarcus gets dragged out of the boat. The two Russians both get drowned by the fucking mermaids.
So this is Memory 2, and it's Alarcus?
Yeah. That's one of the Russians who was planning the murder at the poker table.
And he was drowned?
Yeah, he gets pulled off the boat by one of the mermaids.
By a beast?
By a beast.
All right. Yo, what's up, Instant 3 Play? How you doing, man? Okay, cool. And then Memory 3. O'Hagan, you still breathing? Can you row? Help! Nichols, sir, shoot them for God's sake.
So who's this guy? I can't. It's a little slow.
That's fine.
Okay, so Alarcus gets dragged into the ocean and drowned. Patrick O'Hagan gets spiked by one of the mermaids, and then It Bang stabs Samuel Gilligan, the first mate's steward, he gets knifed.
The first mate's steward gets knifed.
Yeah.
Someone's saying that's definitely a Chinese. He's obviously Chinese. Really? So Zungi Sathi is the ship's steward? No, first mate steward. We already had Paul Moss getting murdered. Are you sure?
First mate steward. Yeah, because it's Samuel Gilligan that's the second mate's steward.
So Paul Moss
Yeah, and
got what? What'd you say he got?
he got stabbed by It Bang.
I guess
Look at the memory. I'm telling you that guy who we chose as the Irishman is not Irish.
Okay.
That's a Chinese guy.
All right. Yeah, that's Chinese guy. So he wasn't spiked by a terrible beast. So let me go back to this. I think we're in that memory, right?
Yeah.
So let's see here. Well, he gets spiked. So that is a Chinese man. So that is not the first. Have you visited All Memento Mortem? I believe so. All right, so who is this fucking guy then?
So that's the top man, Li Hong.
Oh,
That's
I thought,
that's
what
the-
do we?
Yeah, that's the guy who lied about the guy admitting to the murder.
All right, now we're good. 3 more fates correct.
Yeah.
Murder part 2.
Yeah, that's the thing about Irish people and Chinese people. It's very hard to
Very
tell them
easy,
apart.
yeah, too. In this game, kind of just because the way the illustration is done.
So basically, the whole crew of people who tried to steal the treasure, they just get fucking murdered.
Yeah.
The only person who really survives is the guy who masterminded the whole thing, Edward Nichols. And he drags one of the mermaids onto the boat and then tries to get back to the Obra Dinn.
So is this Alarcus Nikishin, this seaman right here? He was drowned by a terrible beast?
Yes.
Okay, that one's correct.
Yes.
And then Paul Moss, first mate steward. Is this Paul Moss? Is this correct? This is part 3 of the calling.
No, that's not. That's the steward's first mate. It should be the second. It should be Galligan, Samuel Galligan,
Was knifed by...
It Bang.
All right. Okay. And then Bunland Lim, passenger, met an unknown fate.
Neuro Sister Ciceros or whatever is having a fucking nervous breakdown by how we're doing this. He's like, no. So, and then Bun Lam.
Yeah, I think I fucked up because now Paul Moss isn't crossed out anymore because I assigned him to one of these. So I have to figure out where that one died. But anyways, keep going. Bunland Lim is the passenger, met an unknown fate.
Yeah, she tries to crawl and hide, but she gets spiked.
So just got spiked
Yeah.
by the beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or clawed, actually. She gets clawed.
Does it matter?
It does.
All right, and then it being we already had met an unknown fate though. What happened to him? Paul Moss is named in a memento. I believe you because we already had it figured out, and then I undid it, so that sucks. But we'll figure out where Paul Moss fits back into this.
Yeah. So then It Bang tries to stop the mermaids from attacking them, and he opens the chest, but he gets burned alive by the magic.
You are correct, sir.
Yep.
When are we gonna start trying to actually play the game again? Is that after this memory?
Yeah.
I feel like having half of it.
So from here we got it right too, because then they try to get back to the ship.
Yep.
And then last Formosan guy, who I think we chose correctly, shoots them. So everybody who tried to escape with the treasure gets shot. or killed or stabbed or drowned.
Well, there's 2 dashes at the beginning here. So he got burned alive when they opened the chest, and it was essentially like the fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was like the Ark of the Covenant. It just fucking shot all this fucking murder.
Close your eyes, Marion.
Yeah, exactly. And just shot out all this like murder juice and killed them all. So there are 2 people who escaped this, I believe, because there are 2 dashes here.
Is that what that is?
So off the port side for part 6 of the calling, and then disappearances, and then there were 2 disappearances. So one person, ahoy, they're back. Get the captain, ahoy, recover the boats. Wait, don't shoot, I have treasure, I yield. Hold your fire. And this guy has a fun hat.
I think that's the second mate. That's the guy. That's Edward Nichols. That's the ringleader.
He dies though. You said he didn't die.
He gets shot by the Formosan guard. Shoots him from inside the ship. You remember that? Memory?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which guard? Do you know?
Chio Tan.
All right. Now we have the 2 missing people, and we said that they disappeared to the Canary Islands. Shout out to Neurosis or Cirrhosis for being from there.
I don't remember where they went.
Well, I think we decided Canary Islands just because that's what they were closest to, but that was a guess.
Yeah.
And we know who these 2 are?
I don't know.
You don't know these 2?
No. But
One
we'll
of
have to
them,
figure
isn't
this
one
out.
of them Russian? Yeah, because he's holding cards. So wouldn't it just be the other Russian guy?
Yeah, the last Russian, I guess.
Or there's 2 Russian guys, actually. Leonid Volkov and Alexei Toporov. Are these both Russian guys? And then who's this fucking guy? He's holding the gun. He shot at the guy.
I think that's Leonid is the 3rd Russian who doesn't get drowned, because the way that I have it is Alarkus gets drowned and so does Oleski.
I don't have Alesky assigned to anything.
He was drowned.
Really? We have Nichols. We have Ikbing C. We have Bunlan Lim. We've got Samuel Galligan.
Samuel Galligan is stabbed by Itbang.
Is knifed by Itbang. Alarkus Nikishin was drowned. And then part 1 is Li Hong was spiked. So did he drown it? Does he drown at a different part or something?
No, it should be there. Weird. Did those ones come out right?
I can't remember. How do you know if it's confirmed? Just by looking at it. I can't tell.
Yeah. Weird.
Well, I suppose we'll just keep moving here.
Yeah.
All right, unholy captives. So we already have. So we have this guy getting spiked by a terrible beast.
Yeah. So that guy is the last Formosan.
Oh, that's how you can tell.
And he's like warning them.
See
Oh,
his
because you can't click it anymore. It's
limb.
just...
Yeah, it's just there. There's like a little box around it. See, this one's unconfirmed so far. Yeah, that's the only one that's unconfirmed so far, but that just might mean we just need to fill in 2 more to get it confirmed, or 1 more to get it confirmed.
Yeah.
Are you sure they are alive? No. These disappeared people? No, absolutely not. 2 wayward souls. Oh, I guess he could have been drowned. Disappearance in this chapter. Their fates are cataloged here. They disappeared, but we don't know.
Yeah, I think he drowned. Yeah.
Well, I have 2 Russians left. Volkov and Toporov.
Did we get one of them as drowned?
Well, we can choose. I could choose one of these guys as drowned, but I don't know. And then there's
I
this.
think it's Alexei Toporov is drowned.
Okay, let's try it. Was drowned by what? Do we have a drowned by?
The beast, yeah.
The beast. Okay, I mean it's on here, but I don't know. And then this other guy, I don't think he's Russian.
That's Patrick. Did we already do Patrick? The guy with the gun is Patrick.
Okay, and what's his fate?
He
Patrick O'Hagan.
Yeah, he gets spiked.
I don't think so.
No?
This is a little mixed up here. Yeah, but that's okay. We can come back to it.
None of those worked. Try,
Um,
instead of Alexei, try the other Russian.
the other one. But how will we know he drowned?
I think it's because we just don't have their body, but we see him fall overboard.
Okay. Well, I think we'd have to really go back through the memories here because none of those are
Not Volkov, the other Russian. The
already.
Alarkid.
Alarkis already have done. He's done.
Oh, he's right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, we'll have to legit go back and figure this out.
Yeah.
Have you been to the Keys since you moved to Miami, Aston 3 play?
Me and Madeline are supposed to go down there as like a little roommate trip soon.
That's
I haven't
fun.
been to the Keys in years and years.
That's fun.
We got 2 seasons ago, there was this really bad hurricane that destroyed a bunch of the Keys.
Oh, so that's like, yeah, no
Kinda
bueno.
sad.
All right, so this is a little bit undecided here. We've got mermaids. People are getting killed. It's a lot of fun.
So then they bring aboard some of the giant like mermaid sacks.
Yeah, and then they bring them back once this is all done. So they try to leave. They get killed. One guy brings back the cargo just to be shot. And now they've got these fucking creatures aboard.
Ugh.
And that is part 1, Unholy Captives. And we got to get it over here. Is this Unholy Captives part 1? Part 1. Great. Okay. So this is now the memory we're on. There's an awesome Brazilian steakhouse along the way. If you drive, hope it's still there. That's cool.
What do you know about these things? About the chest and your dead friends?
这是虾米？故意来的，全部讲出来，拢是恁害啦！迄个害的较对人无过好，是人稳死的啊！
He talk about a shell. He look like a man.
What shell?
All right. Bad news bears, y'all. No, you're fine. So this is this unknown soul. So we got one. Chio Tan, passenger, was spiked by a terrible beast. This unknown soul was spiked by a terrible beast. Am I gonna figure out who it is?
I know who it is. It's one of the other seamen. So they now that the shells have been opened, like all fucking hell has broken loose.
Yeah. Should we name him?
Hamad, something or other. He's one of the other seamen. Yeah, from Sierra Leone.
Hamadou? Yeah.
Hamadou. Hamadous.
All right, we definitely got some shit wrong in the other one then because we are still not confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay, should we go to the second one?
Yeah. That fucking scene is so fucked up, man.
It's so cool. All right, let's go to the second one.
Well, what's the name of the Brazilian steakhouse? That sounds awesome.
Yeah, name it. Do you know? He might not know.
Name it.
Oh, it's on the gun deck. Cool. Finally learning how to use the map, so that's good.
Jesus.
What?
Nothing. Somebody just sent me an Onion article that's like, Ethan Hawke's body found dumped in Laurel Canyon as 2019 Oscar race heats up.
Dude, so they're just not gonna have a host?
And, man, it's ridiculous.
The modern state of comedy in America, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, because he's fucking obviously wrong, and then like Ellen out of nowhere is like taking side. It's just so weird.
It's just one of those though, man. I don't know. I mean, I get it, but like, I don't just. Okay, if you want to care about tweets from several years ago that I agree were wrong.
That's the thing. It's like,
then fucking then you're not gonna have a host, because no comedian that is professional. I think it's very rare that a comedian that's professional has not put a tweet out into the ether, especially when they were first starting out, that is in some way not horribly offensive.
yes.
Including myself. Like I don't have tweets, but I have old episodes of Roundtable and stuff.
But the problem is that immediately the argument becomes, oh, that's a slippery slope. Like, oh, if we start, where's the line there? Da, da, da. The problem is that nobody actually addressed the real issue, the heart of the issue, which was that he fucking said some really terrible things about gay people. And instead of being like, hey, like, obviously gay people are not like lesser than, there's so many correct ways that you can be like sincere and apologize. Instead, his very first reaction was, I shouldn't be held accountable for that. Like, it's just such a guilty toddler reaction.
Right. I see that. At the same time, the moment I think maybe there's a decision you have to make, because you're like, as soon as I start apologizing, that means I'm essentially like back against the wall, and I don't know. I think he handled it. He did not respond, but at the same time, he did respond correctly. He was just like, all right, then I'm out. I don't need to do this.
No, that's not the right response. The right response is, hey, that was really dumb. I'm very, very sorry. I was being insensitive. It won't happen again. But instead of being like taking ownership and being mature and explaining that it was a mistake, he doubled down and was just like, I won't be censored. And it's like, dude, man. What are you talking about? No one's asking you to fucking censor yourself. We're just asking you to not be a fucking
just admit that like things you said in the past were maybe a little out of line.
And for real though, like especially in the fucking Black community, there's such a stigma against homosexuality. Like people's lives are on the line. People, like young gay kids in the Black community, fucking kill themselves because they'd rather not be gay, and you're perpetuating that.
Right.
It's that level of like, and people are like, you're overreacting. The gay community is too triggered and da da da. It's like, no, man, this is still a fight that has to happen, because it is like the down low or whatever is a huge source for fucking spreading of diseases, because there are these gay men who are out there who don't admit that they're gay. They still have gay sex. They still are unprotected and stuff, and they spread diseases because there's still a fucking stigma against it.
Now, has he not apologized whatsoever for the content?
No, and that's what's really fucked is now he's taken. Now he's doubled down on it and been like, I'm being persecuted. That's the thing that drives me crazy, is the people who are persecuting like try to angle the conversation so that it's like, well, I'm being persecuted for my beliefs. It's like, no. The thing that you did was persecution, and that's what you're being held to task for.
I didn't see the tweets. How long ago did these tweets happen?
It was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
But that doesn't matter. The point is, you're supposed to own up to your mistakes and fucking make a conscious effort to fucking change. It's the same thing as fucking the Me Too movement and stuff and the Louis C.K. shit. It's like,
I thought so too, right? And Trevin, are you sure he didn't apologize? Because I'm pretty sure he apologized. I know it was probably too little, too late.
It was some weird half-ass unapology that didn't hit the right notes. And then people were like, hey, Kevin, you didn't really actually apologize there. And he was like, I shouldn't have to apologize. And it's like, yes, you should. And now that you haven't, now that's the issue. It's this rhetoric that is so infuriating, because it's like the people who are mad about the things that he says. And the people who are defending him are defending him about a different issue. They're defending him about the right for him to say whatever he wants to say. And that's not what he's being accused of. He's being accused of being fucking bigoted. And he's not apologizing for it, and that's wrong. Simple. It's very, very simple. But the other people are like, it's freedom of speech, you're bringing all this other stuff. It's like, no. That is a separate issue. The issue is you were being bigoted and you need to fucking apologize for it
All
properly.
right, so he should have apologized. And at the same time, I will say this. What comedian in his right fucking mind, after all of this went down, is going to say yes to this unless they have literally said nothing offensive ever in their life on
that's
Twitter
not
or
the-
anything?
no, that's the misconception about the whole argument, is that everyone's going to be held accountable and they're never going to have any, like, all their careers. It's the same thing as the fucking these guys who are who have sexual misconduct. It's like, no, you need to address it now, admit you were wrong, and never do it again. And that's it. You don't have to, like, go back in a time machine and change your shit. Like, everybody's, like, just because everybody has said awful things to women or, like, made really lewd passes at women or da-da-da, it's like, no. Now you're held accountable for your behavior, and people aren't going to look the other way. And it's not fucking locker room talk anymore. Locker room talk's over. You can't fucking dismiss gay people. You can't harass women anymore. You have to stop and apologize and never do it again. And then you can host the Oscars, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. But you have to stop, apologize, and never do it again.
Yeah, I get it. And at the same time, I understand.
We would never write murder fist sketches the way that we used to, obviously.
100%. And at the same time, it's just the other angle to this, I think, is just that we get to a point, though, where you just can't, you are just frightened to say anything. And I know that he is wrong and he should have apologized. And at the same time, it definitely sends the message out that, like, if I say yes to hosting the Oscars, anything I have ever said is going to get thrown in my face. I'm not even going to get to focus on the show because...
But you know what, though? If that happens, then you say, yes, I did that. Yes, it was wrong. I apologize for it. I'm a different person now. That's what he was trying to vaguely argue, that, like, why don't people accept that I'm a different person now? And it's like, because you never actually apologized, dude. It's the same thing with fucking Louis C.K. You know what it is also like?
But, Ak, what are you even talking about raping people off stage? We're talking about Kevin Hart. We're not talking about Kevin Spacey or R. Kelly. We're talking about Kevin Hart right now and the jokes that the homophobic jokes he made. I'm not talking about the rapists. I'm not defending rapists right now, so I just want to make that clear. I don't know why those people are coming into play in this conversation right now.
No, this is a really interesting conversation, though, because it's the same thing as, like, when the Conservative Party was like, oh, here's a video of Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, or whatever her name is.
The
Here's a
dancing
video of
thing?
her dancing in college.
That's so
How
stupid,
embarrassing
dude.
for her. She should apologize for this. And it's like, well, no, she doesn't do that behavior today. She's not like a buffoon senator who's, like, being silly and stuff. That was then. She's not doing that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you're allowed to have mistakes and learn from them and grow.
But what do we have? We have from entrapment, and maybe it was just too little too late, but on December 6th, Kevin Hart tweeted, I sincerely apologize to the LGBTQ community for my insensitive words from my past. I'm sorry that I hurt people. I am evolving and want to continue to do so. My goal is to bring people together and never tear us apart. So, I mean, that sounds like a reasonable apology. Like,
yes, that is a reasonable apology.
and that might have been just too long after he had sort of kind of come at it more aggressively. Because I think a lot of times these people, and not to defend them, this is not a good quality, but these people are so on top of like, this dude has been on top of the fucking world in comedy for so long that I think it's like they are so used to fighting and winning that, like, the moment stuff like this comes at them, they take the exact wrong approach.
Yes. You're exactly right.
And they go like, what? No, I'm right always. Everyone loves me. I'm Kevin Hart.
Yes.
Which is terrible, right? It's stupid. And then finally, it's like enough dudes kind of hit him up, enough people, and are just like, bro, you need to actually...
You're on the wrong side here. Like, what are you arguing? That you shouldn't be held accountable for your mistakes? It's like, no, you definitely should. It's not that big a deal.
Yes. But then Carithrow says, I think that was before he doubled down and basically undid his own apology, which I believe...
Well, that's the other thing. Is like that.
Which I believe you when you say that, Carithrow. Like, I'm not completely opposed. I just think that it's one of those where it's like, okay, but if you're going to do this, then it's just like you're just not going to get a comedian to host your show. And if you don't have a comedian hosting your show, you're going to have James Franco and fucking Anne Hathaway doing a terrible job of hosting your show.
No, there's also, it's just because that's the other thing. Holden.
Like,
It's
what comedian are you going to get? Hannah Gadsby? Which fucking get her. That's completely
yes,
fine.
You can get a fucking queer, not straight person to fucking host your Oscar. And you know what? Those people don't have any fucking history being bigoted.
They might. I've seen stuff for sure.
Dude.
From queer comedians. You think no queer comedians have ever said something offensive as fuck in like an old tweet?
It's not about finding somebody who has a pristine record. It's about, does this person take their actions accountable? And
right.
Kevin Hart, I forget the timeline. That might have happened on December 6th or whatever, but there was a whole lead up of stuff that he did.
And I have to admit too, I am a person having opinions when I actually have not read everything or much of anything, other than I just laughed at the fact I was just like, yeah, well, there you go. You're just not going to have a host then. Well, clearly they couldn't get a queer comedian, right? I'm sure they tried.
I don't think they did.
You don't think they tried? After all this controversy, you don't think they tried to find like a really strong queer comedian?
Absolutely not. They had Neil Patrick Harris on one time.
I wish they had gotten Roseanne. How fucking amazing would that be? How fucking incredible would that be?
You get Louis C.K. and Roseanne to co-host.
Tommy said, just get Artie Lang to do it and double down. Yeah, Louis C.K. and Roseanne co-host the Oscars.
It's such a stupid... It's also, and for years I was just like, I hate the Oscars. I hate what it's about. It's such a vapid part of culture. But you know what?
I love the
It's part of being
Oscars.
American. It's part of being American.
Yeah.
That's what we value.
I fucking unabashedly love the Oscars. I don't give a shit about any other award show. But that's it. Carrot Throw says, on the 6th, he said he's not going to apologize because he's been through it. I love how the real mystery is unpacking this Kevin Hart thing. It's like Obra Dinn has just seeped into the real world, and now we're just unpacking it and assessing it. On the 6th, he said he's not going to apologize because he's been through it all, grown, whatever. And then on the 7th, presumably, after getting blown up for 24 hours, he issued a, quote, entrapment listed as being posted on the 6th. Okay, gotcha. So like he kind of had to get. I mean, sometimes people have to get dragged a little bit through some shit to realize how they're fucking wrong. You know what I mean?
It's something that drives me crazy.
I think that's just an ego comedian thing. Like you have to be a fucking. And this is the thing with Roseanne too. By the way, you have to be a fucking psycho to be like a really good comedian. I really do strongly believe that. Like you have to be kind of nuts. You know what I mean?
And then for her, she didn't even realize calling somebody a monkey was wrong, and it's just like, well, you need to fucking take a second and realize that that's obviously wrong. Like it's
right.
Like Donald Trump Jr. said something about walls at the zoo are working, so we should have walls against Mexico, and it's just like, dude, do you not realize that you just called Mexicans zoo animals?
Zoo animals.
Like, you're fucking retarded. Like, how thoughtless
you
are
just
you?
called her retarded. You're not supposed to say that anymore.
Well, that is wrong.
I will never be able to host the Oscars because of things I have said. And I can apologize for them all day. But do you strongly believe if Kevin Hart's reaction was, I'm terribly sorry about those tweets, I'm a different person now. If he never pulled the ego bullshit and he just...
If he had said it that way, then he's more than welcome to host the Oscars. That's what the community said. But he didn't do it that way. He fucking doubled down and said that he wasn't supposed to.
I know, but I'm asking a different question.
Yeah.
Do you think that if he had genuinely apologized as his first reaction and stood by that he would be hosting the Oscars today and that no one would be making a stink about it?
Absolutely.
You think?
Absolutely. Yes.
I don't think you're wrong. I'm just asking the question. I'm just throwing it out there because I don't know how true that is in today's culture. I think there are enough people who cannot get over it.
Blew up. That's why it blew up.
Yeah.
Because you didn't fucking just say, absolutely, that was really wrong.
It was just he just immediately defended and kind of played defensive.
And that is where it is, because then in the back of my head, I'm just like, so you really don't want to stop being bigoted.
Right.
It's what you're really arguing.
You don't want people to call you wrong.
When guys are like, oh, this Me Too movement is really dangerous. It's like, no, you know what that sounds like? It sounds like you still want to get away with harassing women.
I think there's a natural inclination for comedians to immediately go in the defensive because they're freaking out because
Well, boo fucking who? The world is a better place.
No. I'm not saying that is right to do this, but I think the moment you go, hey, what about that shit you said years ago? A first reaction for a lot of comics is like, fuck that. You know what I mean? I said it fucking years ago. You have to be insane to think I still think those things or even did think those things at the time. It was a joke.
That's the thing is it's a learning experience for the culture.
Yes, it is a learning experience for the culture. And what's funny is but the conclusion is no host, which I think is fascinating.
Well, good. No, it is because those are the stakes.
Those are the stakes.
Your first reaction was to fucking piss your pants and throw up your skirt and be like and clutch your pearls or whatever you fucking the audacity of being accused of something, as opposed to being like a mature, reasoned adult who says, yes, I did something wrong. I know now that is wrong and I apologize for it. That's as simple as it is. All you have to do is own up to it and not immediately be like, why should I be held accountable? Why should I did it up?
Totally.
Like, now nobody gets cake.
But I will say, I feel like he eventually did do that. But the fact that it took those extra steps turns you off and turns the community off.
You know what, though? I'm glad because he did this on the public stage. And so now everybody knows that when you get accused for stuff that you did, you have to take responsibility for it. And you can't just say, oh, that was the past, because you can't decide. It's like that Hannah Gatsby thing. It's like you can't draw the line in the sand because you keep changing where the line is. You're not allowed to draw the line in the sand anymore. You can't say, oh, here's where that's the past and this is now and I'm a different person. It's like, no. You're not in charge of the line anymore. You have to apologize for what you did and fucking own it and then stop doing it. That's it.
It's just so funny because, back in the day, people just didn't there just wasn't that tweet that you can pull up and you can just... There isn't that tweet that you can just pull up and just say, this dude said that. Like, back in the day, there literally was none of that. So people were just taken for who they were in the moment. You know what I mean? And there is something to me not liking digging through everybody's things they said in the past. You know what I mean? Because I have to say, I said some really fucked up shit out of humor. You know what I mean? And you know that.
You wouldn't say it again today.
Exactly. But I don't think Kevin Hart would say any of those things again today either.
I think he would.
You think he would?
That if he didn't get accused of being homophobic, he would continue to offhandedly say homophobic.
This kind of ended in the best way possible then, because he learned his fucking lesson.
And now he'll never be able to say anything homophobic again.
And he'll never be able to do that again. And he learned how wrong it is, hopefully, because hopefully enough people reached out and said, hey, like, my life has been a nightmare because of shit like this, and you're perpetuating, just like you said. And at the same time, the Oscars learned a lesson that if you're gonna be like this, you're not gonna have a host. So it's like you need to figure this out. You know what I mean? Because it's so. And I will say, like, I'm a little. This is a bullshit, maybe white guy thing to say, but I mean, award shows right now are really boring because it's about everyone gets up there and just talks about inclusivity and makes a dig at Trump. And I'm just kind of like, okay, I get it. You love people of all creeds and colors and let's all hold hands. But like, can we get back to the art and can we just get back to like the interesting shit and stop making everything about inclusivity and shit?
Why we can't? Because people need to be reminded. And because you're...
Yeah, but it's a bunch of people reminding themselves. It's preaching to the choir.
But it's about visibility. It really is. Like, you might be aware and you might be a little bit more forward, but everybody, even middle America, watches the Oscars. And every little bit of representation counts. Every little bit of visibility counts because then it's a little less weird. Like, Sandra Oh hosting the whatever it was, the Golden Globes and winning is like, that's more Asian people on TV and it all counts.
That's fine. I think it's more just like, it was hilarious. This one white guy went up and he was just like, just so you guys, he won an award. And he was like, just wanted to make sure you guys know my mother's Puerto Rican. So I'm also, and he didn't say it like that, but it was so funny. It was like, we get it, dude. You're also,
yeah. Well, that's people being kind of toned down.
But that's the thing. I think that's my issue with a lot of it. What's going on is it's repeated about 20 times, and even dumb shits like that get up and are like, "I'm also of color technically. I know I look like the evil white man right now."
Yeah, they're missing the fucking point.
Yeah,
but that's the thing is like it has to be repeated, and to the point where you are annoyed by it because you finally listened. But you gotta.
I didn't finally listen. I'm just completely fine with inclusivity. You know, I love different perspectives. So any film that is a different perspective of.
Oh my God! So
I love foreign films. I love all.
Annihilation is on Amazon.
Annihilation's so fucking good, dude.
That story was told from a female point of view in a way that I've never seen before.
That movie rule. Yeah, it's an all-female team of
just the sensibilities of like. The way that they're military and scientific, but they're also women.
It is a book.
And apparently they whitewashed it. Like the woman that played Natalie Portman was supposed to be like an Asian biologist, and there's also supposed to be like a Native American woman in it that's played by a white woman.
Yeah, see, even there you can't get it right.
See, you just can't even win. You'll never win, though.
It's such a good movie, though.
But that's the thing is like if they had done that, it would have been better. I think.
Sure.
You know.
But I think Scarlett it's not Scarlett Johansson. I was thinking about whitewashing, so I started thinking about she was in
Did you see Emma Stone apologize for Aloha? He was like Sandra Oh was hosting the whatever, and she's like such inclusive movies like Aloha, and from the back of the audience you hear Emma Stone, I'm sorry.
Ghost in the Shell. Thank you, Kara Throw. Yeah, she was. I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was all right, and I liked her in it. And I get it. We need to have more inclusivity, but I also like these actors. And I don't know. I thought that what's her fucking nuts was great in Annihilation. So fuck it. You know what I mean?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
So
she's amazing. She's an amazing actor. I think she should.
In my head, it's like in a dude drama with like. The Terminator, where like some team member gets ripped apart or whatever and taken away, they just move on through the jungle. But Natalie Portman was like, no, I'm going to confirm whether or not our friend is dead, and goes into the jungle to find out whether or not that to me is so feminine in a weird way, you know, like the idea of
I agree. Instant 3 play. In this case, I don't think that her ethnicity is necessarily so central to her character, but Ghost in the Shell. Since it is such a culturally, like it is based on an anime, it is like kind of more, makes less sense that she's not Asian unless they're kind of making a comment about the American ideal aesthetic in anime, which I could kind of see that as being the case that they made.
I don't think that they were.
But I don't think they're making that case. But I think that Natalie Portman can play this character, and it's not like it's not like necessarily whitewash. I want the best person to get the job. And as long as it...
Holden, what we just have to keep our mouth as men, especially as white men.
I know.
Gotta let it, even though it seems annoying and it seems overkill to keep hammering home how important inclusivity is.
It's just so disparate, dude, because you literally have, and I don't think these people are watching the Oscars, because I think that Trump and Fox News and everything else has convinced them, and not for necessarily because it gets repeated over and over again and bashed over your head when you watch these award shows right now, and not necessarily completely untrue that it's just like, this is the liberal Hollywood elite, and they're all pedophiles, and they're all this, and they're all that, and they're just going to congratulate themselves for being so, LGBTQ and race-friendly, and, roll your eyes at it, and don't watch it, and watch Fox News instead, and listen to...
There's this short story that just came out about this woman who talks about how she was a cable repair woman, and there's all these stories about her going through different houses and how fucked it was. She goes to this one part of the story. She goes to this house, and the guy's cable is out, and he can't watch his Fox News. And the woman can't fix it for whatever reason, and she's out in her truck about to leave. And the housewife comes out, and she's like, "Please, can you do something? If he doesn't have Obama to hate on Fox News, then he finds other things to hate." Yeah, and you're just like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" Like this woman is
so true.
If her husband doesn't get to scream at Fox News and hate Obama, then this woman's gonna get beat.
That's so true, dude.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it. I mean, I saw it when I visited some family people in Florida, And these people just complain about their immediate family, and they complain about everything, and they complain about us liberals. You know what I mean, as well. And I will say us liberals, by the way. I feel like a liberal lost it in his own party because there's so much fucking white noise out there. A funny,
Well, I mean,
pun
if it comes
intended.
down to it,
Pun
if
unintended. But
if it has to be this or that, obviously I'm on the side of progressives. Like, obviously.
I just think the way that the message is being conveyed can be a little whatever. But
because there are people who are so extreme and closed-minded that you have to be like, we got to trumpet the progressive horn. Has to sound the same because there's no nuance. There's no I don't know, whatever. Listen, I don't think we can get back to the game because I gotta go get ready.
I know, but I don't care because I really enjoyed this conversation.
I think that
I'm taking scary stances, by the way, for myself. I'm scared to take these vague stances because of people getting mad at me because they're going to think I'm some
honestly,
fucking bigot.
I don't really necessarily agree with your point of view, though. Honestly, like
I know.
I think that if it costs more screen time of people patting themselves on the back about exclusiveness, I know that's annoying. But that is a small price to pay.
I can find it boring. Though. Why, that's all I'm saying. I just think it's fucking boring.
It's the world that we live in is such instant gratification that people don't know that, like, you're allowed to dislike something a little bit.
And also, when Hollywood people get uber political, it gets really obnoxious really fast. I just
self-serving, and you're just like, you're a billionaire. You could actually be doing something for change.
That's the thing. It's that people get up on stage and they're like, okay, this year everyone really cares about including black people in movies. So I'm going to get up and make sure to hit that bullet point because I need to make sure that I am a part of the, you know what I mean? It's all networking bullshit, and it's so obvious, especially with the one guy who's like, my mom's Puerto Rican. I know I'm white as snow, but my mom's Puerto Rican, so I'm with you guys. You know what I mean? And it's like that shit.
That's such a white dude thing to do, to be like, I get it. It's like, no, you don't, and just shut up.
Yeah, and just shut the fuck up and accept your reward. Also, though, I think, what was I gonna say? I was just about to say something. I was gonna say, fuck, I forget. Because the other
times.
Huh? Oh, this is what I was going to say. I'm not going to sit here and be like, fuck Kevin Hart for saying that shit. Fuck that guy. Because then
that guy. That's other nuance.
Because then I am a hypocrite. Because I have made jokes that would never fly today.
It's not fuck that guy for what he said. It's fuck that guy for not taking responsibility for what
he should have taken responsibility. I mean, I guess he eventually did, so I don't know where you place that. And you can still, because you're still going to say fuck that guy, even though he eventually did the thing you wanted him to do. You still say fuck that guy, though. You know what I mean?
Because he doesn't mean it. And if
kind of like the way I feel about people going up on stage and making sure they hit the multicultural bullet point.
They don't genuinely mean it. You can tell. And
right.
It's a gut reaction, and there's no...
Well, that's the problem, right? Everybody's full of shit. That's why it's hard for me to even get behind my own party, because everybody just seems, the people who are the loudest just seem so full of shit and such hypocrites.
They're getting paid to be.
It's the priest on the big giant, it's the evangelical preacher on the big giant stage fucking screaming about how gay people are wrong, and then after hours he picks up a dude and does a bunch of meth with him and fucks him, and that is the thing I fucking cannot stand.
Yeah.
It's the hypocrisy of all of it. Saying sorry because people got mad is not the same as saying sorry because you came to the realization what you did was wrong. All I have are his words, which would, if you just look at the words and you can't hear his voice and you can't tell, I don't know if there's video of him saying these things, because that might be easier to tell whether or not he's full of shit. But the tweet that Entrapment posted would lead you to believe that he did realize he was wrong. But the timeline would not lead you to believe that, maybe, because how much he stamped his feet.
But it's like, okay, so saying sorry because people got mad is not the same as saying sorry. But then Entrapment says there's so many rules, you try to agree with someone and they're like, you don't get it. But that's the thing, is you don't get it. And so you can't get mad at people accusing you of not getting it. You just have to be like, I don't get it. Like, I'll never be able to get it. I will never know what it's like to be a lesbian black woman on the planet Earth. And I just need to shut my fucking mouth.
But he does know what it's like to be black. I mean, he does know what it's like to deal with that.
but you still don't get it.
Well, that's
And
the
that-
funny thing, too, is I feel like the black man hating on the gay person is literally just projection because they get so much shit for being
You should see the
black.
fucking gay community, man.
So, like,
They're
how do I
fucking-
kick someone lower than me because, like...
There's the cross-dressing community doesn't appreciate the drag queen community. It's bigotry trickles down.
Yeah,
It's weird how fucked up people will find a way to feel superior
right.
than other people, and you're just wrong across the board. There's the episode of Transparent where they go to a drag camp, and Jeffrey Tambor's character is just like kind of talking a little bit.
I saw that episode. Uh-huh.
He's interested in the treatments for like getting a gender confirmation surgery, and they are against him. They're just like, no, we're men. We just dress as women. We're
Right.
not women. And it's just this weird bigotry. I don't know.
Yeah, that episode's really great because you see the kind of the backlash. Or I thought you were going to talk about the all-women's camp, and they, like, get mad
That's
at
what
him.
he's-
And they get mad at him for
well,
attending because he's not actually a woman, and so it turns
yes,
into
well,
this
there's
whole...
that end of it too. You're just like, oh, you guys are the idea of being like this is our world and you're not allowed in it is just so stupid to me. It's like, what? Like,
Yeah.
no, we're all part of it.
Yeah.
We're all part of it.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you know how I used to be. You even had to be like, you need to stop saying shit like that. You know what I mean? And then I fucking stopped. You know what I mean? Like,
Easy. Sarah Silverman had that thing. She's like, I used to say gay all the time, and I used to defend it because I thought it didn't matter. And then one day I was just like, that's stupid. I should stop saying that. 'cause
Right.
it-
yeah. This affects people around me in a
I
shitty
should
way.
probably stop. And not why am I like finding a logic where it lets me be a big.
Well, this is the thing. This is why, because I mean, it's a really it's a very interesting discussion when it comes to comedy, and it's a touchy discussion because people wield this sword as a way to just defend everything they've ever said and done, which is wrong, but have a point in the sense of like. Because I feel very mixed about the whole backlash on the Louis C.K. thing. I agree that he's fucking up by trying to get back into the game now.
No, he did a fucking horrible thing for years and never did one thing.
Yeah, that's where I agree with the world. The thing that I will inherently never agree with, will inherently always have a bit of an issue with, is when people are in a live room working their material out. They are allowed to say fucked up things and say whatever they're trying to say because they're trying to work their material out. And I hate when recordings and transcripts leak of someone in a small stand-up room trying to work their shit out. But at the same time, it's inherently moot because...
No, I disagree. You were an audience member. You were there as an agreement. There is an unspoken social agreement that you have with the person who's performing in front of you. And you were allowed to react however you want.
I think you're like,
whatever they say.
I agree with you 100%. What I don't agree with is that person's material then being from a room that they're trying to work shit out in, being put all over.
You get in front of an audience. You put a microphone in your hand, and you are responsible and accountable for the shit that you say.
Yeah, but you used to be accountable in the right way. You used to be accountable in the way that room that night will let you fucking know. Okay, and then you start to figure it out. How do you challenge yourself and audiences with material when you know that anything you say and do can be used against you all over the onlines? The problem where it's moot because this dude, it's moot because this dude's being a fucking idiot, huh?
The gross laughter of the fucking moron audience that was because the majority of that audience was loving that material. And that is my takeaway from that thing, is like, he's not just working bad material. He's getting encouragement for fucking bigoted shit. And he should be held accountable, and it should be recorded and spread around. Because if that didn't happen and the recording wasn't heard, then he would have had worked that material and thought that it was good.
I don't think that material would have made it very far regardless. Like, I don't think that would have made it. And I think what it says to comics, from a comic perspective, it says, I I am now afraid to do any challenging material for an audience to try to find the line, to try to play.
You know what? And you know what?
I don't I don't want to live in a world like that. I want comics mini comics, not all comics, but mini comics are there to challenge, to bring up things.
Yes.
And Louis C.K. before all of this went down was the king of it. The king of it.
You know what though? But times change and sensibilities get more nuanced and.
But how are you supposed
to? If
to?
you're going to try to make really challenging material, then the consequence of challenging material is fucking backlash from your audience. Like that's the deal. If you want to try to say things that are like really taboo, or you have to do it in a way that is not reinforcing that taboo.
But you're not getting. But you're
audience.
But you're finding the line. You're trying to find the line. And how do you even attempt to find the line if I cross the line, I am going to be shit on by the world. I can't, not just this room. You know what I mean?
Jeff Dye, and he has this joke about how he doesn't believe in gay marriage. And the joke takes like 20 seconds to tell, but for the first 10 seconds, the only thing that he said is, I don't believe in gay marriage. And the punchline is, I believe that a marriage is between a contract with the village and, and he talks about like dowries and stuff. And that's the punchline of the joke.
So anybody could take that first bit and put it all over the internet.
But that's the thing, is then that person is wrong for taking it out of context.
But people do it constantly, and I don't like it.
And they're wrong.
Yeah, and they are wrong, and I hate when it happens. You know what I mean?
But what you're scared of is something that will never happen. You're scared of somebody taking something out of account and them being labeled as wrong.
Oh, I think it happens a lot. I think that happens all the time.
But if it did happen,
I think it's like a big problem with the internet.
Not the full joke. The full joke is this. You can't be guilty of something if because then those people are misjudging you and they're wrong.
Right. And they are wrong. And people are wrong a lot, and it's getting out of hand, I think. And I think there's a real problem with outrage culture, and that's the part of the discussion where I'm not necessarily on the side of the you can't say that people. You know what I mean? Because I think that, to me, all of my favorite comedians, you know what I mean? Like, think about all your favorites. Not all of them. I love Steve Martin, too. I forget who was talking about this, but someone was talking about how it's like time for a Steve Martin again. It's time for just silly, funny. Because right now, the landscape, there's no space for like a Carlin or a Bill Hicks.
What's his name? Julio Torres, who's writing for SNL now. That dude is a crazy stand-up. He's this queer Mexican. I think he's from Mexico. And he just does the weirdest stuff, and he's the new. We just don't hear about it because that guy doesn't get enough exposure because he's too weird, because he's too alt.
Yeah, and I definitely love that kind of comedy as well. But definitely, the people who really rise up, and unfortunately, before this Louis C.K. shit went down, I would have said Louis C.K. is somebody who, like really challenges an audience with material and really kind of hits you over the head with something really intense, and then sort of negotiates with the audience to like find the logic to make it work. I miss that comedy.
Now as audience members, we're used to like, oh, he's saying something awful because he's going to make a point about it. You know what I mean? Now we're used to that, and now we get to learn another thing. We get to learn, we can't just we can't just get triggered and not think about it more.
Yeah.
You're allowed to get triggered by something, but you have to either talk to the person. Is this something that they're really sincerely going to die about, or are you misjudging them? It's a process, and we're all learning.
It's what
just because it happens up for Kevin Hart on the world stage, then we all benefit from
It's what gives the discussion nuance to me. It's like there's something about secretly I love the fact that they could not get a host. Because it says something about that. I think that the fact that they could not get a host says something about the modern state of comedy. And I also kind of hate.
Very real.
And I also secretly kind of hate, not secretly because I'm saying it on a stream, but I also secretly kind of hate how some of that CK shit went down, just to the point of when someone's in a room working out new material, it should stay in the room. I just personally believe that. That's just a tenet of mine. Because I think
because if the audience...
Because it's up to that audience to go up to him afterwards and be like, hey, that was fucked up. You know what I mean? And like he's gonna discover that. Like he's gonna discover that organically in front of live audiences, and that's the whole point of working out new material. Why not just
new material is you're still in front of an audience with a microphone.
Sure. And I don't think but I think that I just don't like that it leaves the room, and that's old man Holden, but I don't like it to leave the room.
I think it should, because if you have made a social contract with the audience that you're going to be telling jokes at them, and this is the material, then you're putting it out there. You have the microphone in your hand. Nobody's going into your house and taking your notebooks and finding your stuff that you didn't say. No, this is you voluntarily offering maybe bigoted stuff to an audience. So you're responsible for that. And the fact that it's a crowd, I think, makes it worse. If you were to tell a joke one-on-one with somebody, then they could tell you. But not every audience member has the ability to be like, Mr. CK, that shit that you just said is fucked up. Like, not every audience member gets that privilege, because you're an audience and he's the one guy. So the idea of like, oh, this will naturally work itself out the way that you work a joke, you'll find out whether or not it's good or bad. That system is not foolproof. And if anything, I think that you should be able to be accountable for anything you say, especially in front of an audience with a microphone in your hands.
Well, and I agree with you. I just don't think the whole world has to hold you accountable. I think the audience in that room needs to hold you accountable.
Well, you don't want the court of public, whatever, public opinion. But it is a public thing. Like,
yes, and I love the nature of the public discourse that is in that room. I just don't like when it leaves that room and then all these people just read like one sentence from a bit you did and gutturally react to it on Twitter. That's when I get fucking pissed.
That's the only thing you do here, because those people aren't thinking, they're just reacting.
Because the reason and the reason why he doesn't get a pass from me for this is because more that he's even doing this in the first place without doing what he said he was going to do, which is sit back and take a long time to listen and fucking and not, you know what I mean? And like he's full of shit and he's doing this re-entry into comedy 100% wrong. That's why I'm not going to defend him, but the element where it leaves the room fucking sucks to me. You know what I mean? I just don't like it, and it gets people to it makes comics afraid to experiment and try things. And anytime artists are in a position where they think that it's scary to do anything, I mean, and it's like, it is what it is, you know what I mean? And this is, and I'm not assuming that they would get up there in blackface and do terrible shit, you know what I mean?
The idea that people are going to be too scared to do their material is such a straw man argument, because one, comics are going to do their fucking shit regardless. No comic is ever fucking scared to say the horrible things that they say. That's not going to happen. And two, like, people, you have to be responsible. And the fact that people are scared to like, oh, I can't even hit on a girl anymore. It's like, yeah, because you were doing it bad. I can't tell my raunchy jokes anymore. Yeah, because they're bad. And you're just now fucking being held accountable for why they're bad. And now you're sad because you wanted to be able to treat women like objects, and you wanted to just be able to say these racist things, and now you can't, and you're sad. And I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about those people. I don't give a fuck about like somebody trying to do like Dice Clay or something. I'm talking about somebody who's trying to find nuance in very difficult subjects, like certain comics do. And those people, and those are my favorite comedians, and those are the comedians that are largely feeling like a little scared to do material, to try material.
It's a fucking crucible. That's why it has to be good. If you're going to be doing
but you can't you can't get it good unless you work it out. In Instant 3-Play, I would say that most audiences need to understand that unless the comedian is doing a taped special, that they're always experimenting and working on their material. So if you're an audience member and you're going to see a live stand-up comedy show, you have to just assume that at least some of that material is experimentation and things being worked on point blank. Just, you know what I mean? Yes, but if you're going to go to the Comedy Store and if you're going to go to the Cellar, these are dudes getting up there and trying shit and experimenting and seeing the line, you know?
I don't know, man. I still disagree. I think that if you're going to do material, if you're going to perform, then you're responsible for that performance, like regardless of whether or not it's fresh or however you've developed it. If you're putting it in front of people, if you're an artist and you paint a fucking dick and you put it out in a gallery, then you're responsible for how people react.
But the
to
problem
that.
is that unless you are squeaky fucking clean, you are definitely going to offend someone pretty much every night you get up.
But that's where the real emotional maturity comes in, is understanding that just because you do offend some people, then you have to address that. Like, in what way did I offend them? Is it wrong? Should I change the material? Like, just because somebody's triggered or offended doesn't mean that the whole thing is a wash. It means that you need to think about it.
Yeah, but that wraps back into my thing where people need to feel free to work on material in closed rooms with audiences in order to find that and learn that lesson. I don't think that bit that he did would have ever made it to a special. Maybe it would have. Maybe some version of it would have that was brilliant and amazing. You know what I mean? But
no, I guarantee that whole bit would have stayed because he's a because he's wrong.
Remember pre-jerking off in front of people, Louis C.K., and the kind of material he did and the way that he spun it. He was a master of that. That's exactly. But he failed too. He went up in SNL and did his monologue about like pedophilia or whatever, and it failed. And he learned immediately. But he also didn't get fucking strung up and crucified for it because he hadn't jerked off in front of women yet to the world's knowledge. You know what I mean?
No, dude, he's joking about fucking kids who.
The bit sucks. I'm 100% agree that the bit sucks.
It's so obviously wrong. The thing is, it could be funny if he was the butt of the joke, or if any of it was self-aware at all, but it wasn't. He actually was punching down, and like you can tell there's the difference between punching down and having the punching down be the joke. Or just punching down.
I think the other bit I didn't find offensive. I forget what it was, but definitely the school shooting thing sucks.
He was talking about fucking gay people and transition people. You know, like he's just so off mark that you kind of wonder whether or not it makes you question everything. Because when you appreciate a comedian, it's because you like that they're making fun of the idea. It's because you're like, oh, this guy is obviously not bigoted. He's just bringing up a bigoted thing.
I think you like a comedian because they take something you can relate to and like pick it apart for you and like show it to you in a different way, but that allows you to relate to it.
That's what I thought he was. But now when he says the stuff that he says, I'm just like, wait a minute. I don't even know if he does think. I think he actually hates David Hogue or whatever that kid's name is, which I was at a Christmas dinner with this in-law relative, and he was talking about how he hates that kid. The Parkland survivor kid. And I was like, you hate a school shooting survivor kid? Why? And he's like, because he's got a smug face. And I was like, you're fucking wrong. That kid's friends died and he's changing the world and you don't like his face?
There's a bit in that, actually. There's a bit somewhere in that. That is hilarious. I don't like his face.
I gotta go.
What a fucking shithead. All right, Madeline, we'll see you in a little bit. Thank you for this. This was, honestly, I thought this was a great discussion, dude.
I feel very strongly about it.
Cool. Yeah, and I like your argument too. I don't disagree necessarily with like large swaths of your.
It's worth talking about.
Yeah, it's a good discussion, and I like to challenge it because what I'm sick of is people just being like, I'm afraid, so I'm just going to also agree with everybody's outrage and stuff, and that drives me nuts. I'm like, no, there's a discussion here. Let's have a discussion about this and not just immediately be like, bandwagon about all these little things.
This is what, like, is it obviously wrong? I don't think any of it's obvious. I think it all needs to be thought about.
It needs to be picked apart, and especially from our comedian background, I think that there's just an interesting discussion there and what,
we used to do the worst thing.
We said crazy shit.
I would never perform the same stuff that we did with Murder Fist again, just because I don't think that the world needs that.
You wouldn't do Grandma Got Raped again? You wouldn't want to do that sketch again?
But the joke with Grandma Got Raped was that how awful is this that Grandma got raped? Not raping Grandma is fun. Like, that's not what's funny.
Right,
funny,
but there's John played the special needs guy, and
that was wrong. That's obviously
it's all wrong. That whole thing is wrong.
But the joke there was that he was retarded, and that was wrong.
Right.
The joke with Grandma getting raped was like, why are they performing this? This is so awful.
Right. It's just so over the top bad.
The rape wasn't the funny part. It's the fact that we were full force committed to it was the laughing part.
Well, it used to be like, what can we get away with in front of what can we get an audience to laugh at? Like
Will
how
they walk out on us?
Yeah, how far can we push it? And that's exactly what I'm afraid comedy might lose with this stuff, and that's why I argue for it.
You can't lose it because people are too smart, and it's
They'll figure out a way. But I like it. I do like that the consciousness is changing. All right, I feel so bad for keeping you, dude. I know you need to go. Take care, Kelan. This was awesome. Take care, chat. I'll see you later. You can exit the thing, and I'll just say my final words to chat, where I say Kelan was wrong. This. All right,
I
dude.
have the power. It's mine.
Take care, man. Let's play some games this weekend.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah, peace. And to everybody here, thank you for joining us for Point Counterpoint. This is a lot of fun. I will be back in less than 2 hours in order to, for you, get drunk and have a party, and we won't talk about any of this stuff. So have a good one, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Sign off video. Now we're playing Four Walls.
Please, please release me from this prison that I built. It's got 4 walls, some bars, and a toilet. Well, I used to be the warden, and now I'm just a number. They beat me senseless every night and day. I catch rats from my food. I'm all alone and destitute. I pray death will soon come my way. When I was a warden, I was even worse. Tar feather prisoners for fun. I threw snakes in their cells, and I laughed at their yells. Made their lives a living hell on this earth. Please, please release me from this prison that I built. It's got 4 walls, some bars.